Wow, Luke actually uploading a video. I thought I would never see the day, and probably you guys too, but today I've got something special, and that's going to be round 50 on every Black Ops 4 Zombies map. Yes, every single map. And this is going to be the first video in a larger series where I go through all the Treyarch zombie maps, and I'm going to do round 50 on every single one of them. So the next video is going to be Black Ops 3, and if you guys want that one to come out in the next few days, let's try to get 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours. And then obviously after that, we're going to do Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, World of War, and then I'm going to do every single map, including the non-Treyarch ones, and make it into one giant video. Also, I know I've been gone for quite a while, so thank you guys for 60,000 subs and 61,000. Anyway, let's get right into the video, and I think we're going to start off with Blood of the Dead. So starting with Blood of the Dead, this is how this video is going to work. I'm going to show you guys the start of round 49, talk about the game a little bit, just talk about kind of some random things, and then show you guys going through round 50. So we're starting off with Blood of the Dead. I don't know why I decided to do these out of order, but I did, and we're starting with this. Now, I do want to say, for anyone that knows anything about Blood of the Dead high rounds, or just high rounds on Black Ops 4 in general, my setup is kind of a little cobbled together for these first few games, because I decided I was going to play on my girlfriend's account, because I'm back in Scotland currently. And because we bought Black Ops 4 on a New Zealand account, and it's not my account, this one wasn't really leveled up all that much, so I was, level 15 or 16 or something like that, and I had basically nothing. So because of that, I didn't have any PhD or anything like that, but I just brute forced it because, let's be fair here, round 50 is not that difficult to brute force on some maps. I mean, I can just sit here and spam the specialist over and over and over again. I had a few close calls, I'm not gonna lie, the Brutuses were pretty annoying, and I didn't realize how bad the Helion Salvo actually was until I didn't have any attachments for it. Like, seriously, if you play Black Ops 4 at all and you use the Helion Salvo at all, take the attachments off and then put them back on. It's really just such a night and day difference with this thing. I mean, it's absolutely just insane. But I also want to take a second to talk about Blood of the Dead. I don't think it's as bad as everyone tries to make it out to be. No, it's not Mob of the Dead quality, but it's really not that bad. If this was the only map that had ever been made and we just ignored Mob of the Dead's existence, it's not that bad. But I think just the whole problem was that the Easter egg was long, it was tedious, it was whatever, and a lot of people didn't like that, and a lot of people didn't like BO4. But it's more of a sum of its parts sort of thing, and it's really actually pretty okay. I would say out of the launch maps, including 9, Voyage, Blood, and Classified, I would say this is the second best one, if I'm being honest with you. 9's obviously the best one, but, you know, that doesn't need to be said. Still, I think Blood of the Dead gets a lot of shit that it really shouldn't, but hey, that's just my opinion on this one. And speaking of Classified, that is our next map for today. So again, I actually did this one, I think near the end actually of my recordings, because I decided to, like I said, do this a little bit out of order. I just kind of did it where I did the ones that I was most comfortable with first, and then I did the really, really awful ones, the ones that I just don't want to play last. And you'll see there is just some maps that I really, really did not want to play, and those are at the end of the video, but I actually like Classified. 5 is one of my least favorite maps that Treyarch has ever made. I'm just going to say that right now. It's one of my least favorite. But for some reason, Classified is just a better version of it. I don't know whether the Black Ops 4 mechanics with all the specialists and the Winter's Howl actually being a little bit better than it used to be, or just having the salvo, it's a little bit more open. I don't know what specifically it is. Like, I can't pinpoint it to one thing, but Classified is just better. And in this game, I actually had PhD because this was not happening without PhD, man. Like, oh, just some of these maps, if you don't use the salvo, you're not getting past round 30. You really, really aren't. And not having PhD is just an absolute death sentence. So with Classified, I was just able to push my ass through. I was able to get to around 50, and it took me a couple of tries actually, which was kind of shocking because I have around 100 not using the little shield strategy like everyone does for the Easter egg, so it kind of shocked me that it took me a few attempts. And lucky for me, round 50 was actually a Dogo round, so that was a little bit nice. I got to push through it, didn't have to go through round 50, and by the way, I don't know if you guys can actually tell, but once I do get to round 50, I just spam, and I mean spam every single weapon that I have, because I'm not trying to make it to 51, because I've already made it to 50, and I just kind of want to make the gameplay look a little bit more interesting. Oh, before Classified wraps up real quickly, I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this because I haven't posted a video in a month and a half, but I've been streaming a little bit, but we have a Discord now. And it looks like I'm going to have to pick up on this conversation in 9. So yeah, we do have a Discord. It's mine and it's my fiance's, who's also a Call of Duty Zombies YouTuber. So if you guys want to join that, that'll be in the description. There's a couple hundred people in there. It's really active. You guys can talk to us. You can talk to anyone about anything. It's not specifically about zombies, but it can be if you really wanted to, but we just kind of talk about anything and everything. And if you guys want to catch up with us or anything like that, and notifications don't work on YouTube, whatever the case may be, then you'll get one in there for all the videos, all the streams, everything like that. It's just a nice place to be. So go join the Discord. Just go do it. Like, it's not that hard. It's one link. But yes, we are finally on 9, the best Black Ops 4 map. I think it's honestly, actually no, I'm going to take that back. I'll talk about the best Black Ops 4 map in a minute. It's the second best one, but it is still an absolute masterpiece. I really do believe that 9 is a top 5 map ever. The aesthetics are great. There's a little bit too many boss zombies, I think, because you have all the gladiator zombies, you got all the catalyst zombies. That gets pretty annoying, I'm not gonna lie, but I just think that overall 9 is just such a good map. And if Black Ops 4 hadn't had its really rough start and people didn't dislike the HUD or the gameplay mechanics or whatever it is, I think that 9 would just be a classic map and people would just shower this thing in praise. If 9 was in Black Ops 3, everyone would love it. They would take it as, probably a top 5 map, I would think everyone would say it as. It would probably land in a Shadows of Evil territory or a Gorod Krovi, somewhere around there where people really love it. And once again, as always, it is your basic Helion salva strategy, but hey, for once we're not actually camping in a corner. I mean, wow, that's such a novel concept. I actually wanted to do this all live commentary, but I was like, yeah, but what happens if I say something stupid, I gotta cut it, or just one in a million things could happen. So I decided to do the commentary after the fact, but I think it turned out a little bit alright. I'm still kind of experimenting with the whole format because I haven't really ever done a big long video like this where it's all my gameplay and I don't have a script in front of me, so tell me if I'm doing an alright job. I do want to know though, what do you guys think about 9? Because I've heard a lot of different opinions about it. I've either heard, it's a top 5 map, it's my favorite Black Ops 4 map, or some people just flat out don't like it, and maybe it's because of the challenge, or because they don't understand the gimmick of the map, I'm not really sure. But yeah, tell me your thoughts on it, because I'm actually fairly curious on this one, since I think 9 is a little bit more divisive than most of the Black Ops 4 maps, and especially because it was a launch map, a lot more people played it than, let's say, Ancient Evil, or Tactor Toten, or Dead of the Night. But yeah, out of the launch maps, definitely the best. I will definitely say that, because Classified, it's okay, as I said earlier. Blood of the Dead, again, it's okay. I think it's a little bit on the upper end of okay, thumbs up a little bit. And then you've got, what was the last one? God, what even was the fourth one? Voyage of Despair, that's what it was. That's very forgettable. That's so sad that I don't even remember it. That's how forgettable it is. And speaking of forgettable, this is a map that a lot of people have never even heard of, but it's so good. I want to make an entire video talking about how much I love Ancient Evil. I really do, because this is my favorite zombies map of all time. Ancient Evil is just such a fucking underrated map. If you have never played Ancient Evil or have never seen it, please, I actually implore you, it is so good. It is a Greek mythology themed map that just does it right. It's got the origin style of 4 wonder weapons with different elemental abilities. You've got the Pegasus Strike, which is literally just a flying horse that shoots lightning. It's got one of the best pack-a-punch areas of all time. It's fantastic. Even the Easter egg, which I'm not a huge Easter egg guy, as some of you guys might know, but it has one of the best boss fights where you just fight a giant flying Pegasus. How is that not cool? How is that not amazing? But it seems like a lot of people don't even know this map actually exists, because I live streamed this a few days ago. I got to round 103 or something like that where I ended the stream, but I had a lot of people in the chat just not even know what this map was or what game it was on. So yes, please, if you are at all curious about Black Ops 4 Zombies, please search out Ancient Evil. It really is worth your time, I promise you. There's a lot of things I don't promise you in Zombies, but this is one that won't disappoint. And I think it kind of came at a bad time because it was the third DLC and it was kind of sandwiched between Dead of the Night, which no one really gave a shit about, and Tactor Toten, which was the one that ended the Aether storyline, so I think it fell kind of in a bad area in time. It's also part of the Chaos story, which a lot of people really just didn't like, to be honest, so yeah, it's kind of up in the air whether some people liked it or not, but I think that given some time, you'll really love it. But yes, I know a lot of this gameplay doesn't actually show off a lot of the map of Ancient Evil, but From what you can see, I'm sure that you will like it. Please, I know a lot of this entry has just been me gushing about Ancient Evil, but it is so good. It's my favorite map of all time. Even the bosses aren't annoying, and that's one thing that Black Ops 4 does a lot, where it just throws in a lot of bosses into a map and just kind of makes it difficult for difficulty's sake, but Ancient Evil doesn't suffer from that too much, actually. The Wonder Weapon is actually good. Like, every single one of the variants is actually good, which we almost never see, because with the staffs, the lightning one is garbage. With the bows, the void is garbage, and the fire is kind of garbage, but then with the hands, you don't really have that issue. All of them are actually pretty good. And speaking of things that are actually surprisingly good, we go to Tag Der Toten, and I know that this is another opinion dividing map, but I actually really like Tag Der Toten. And I also want to say I actually really like the Tundra Gun for a camping strategy. I've never used the Tundra Gun. I'm just going to point that I've never used it before this game, but it's actually pretty solid for camping. I've always heard that the Tundra Gun was trash and never use it, and it's the worst thing to ever exist. Just get the regular one, but that actually held up pretty good. I mean, it was one-shotting zombies on round 50. It was doing its job. It was really holding its own. But yes, Tag Der Toten, okay? This was the map that ended the Aether storyline, and I think a lot of people hate it because of that. But I think that that was the best ending we were ever going to get for Aether. I don't think it was ever going to get any better. I don't think that we were ever going to have a big 5-minute, cutscene, or we were never going to have a Civil War map, or we were never going to have a big blow-off with huge production values and a lot of money thrown into it. And part of that was because of Black Ops 4's development cycle and the budget cuts, and I think everyone knows that at this point, but it's also just partially because of the way the Call of Duties are produced. They're produced every single year. They don't have the time to put in a year just for one single map, and that's probably what they would have to do. And those animated cutscenes cost a lot of money, like way more than you'd actually think that they were. So for them to do what they had to do with Tag Der Toten and the story that they had to tell and all the info they had to get across, I think they actually did as best as they could. Especially with Jason Blundell leaving the studio after this whole thing, I think that it was a good call to end the Aether storyline before Jason officially resigned from his position at Treyarch, and I think that they just wanted to kind of take zombies into a different direction. It had been 10 years, and I think that it was finally time. But again, I actually got lucky once again, and I had 50 for dogs, so that was pretty solid, actually. I mean, that's 2 maps out of 8 that I had a special round on round 50. Now we go on to a map that I just don't like. I'm just going to say that right away. I don't like Alpha Omega. I think that it was really hyped up when everyone saw, oh my god, we're getting Nuketown again, and they just started shoving cocks in their mouth, but I just don't like it. And I think that's maybe because I didn't play it for a few months, because I didn't get to play it when it first came out, I didn't have a PS4, and maybe after the fact, I just kind of came into it a little bit jaded, but I don't like it. All of the Ray Gun Mark IIs are really overly complicated to get a hold of. The Pack-a-Punch system is kind of stupid, having to unblock all of these little sewage systems. It's all confusing. The underground area is just too hard to navigate. It's really, really tight, and it's just not fun. And because of the way the Black Ops 4 plays with the zombies just being absolute Olympic sprinters after round 20, you can't do anything. You can't train on this map effectively on a high round. And with only 1, maybe 2 of the Ray Gun Mark II variants actually being viable for a high round, it doesn't sit right with me. I think that Black Ops 2 with its version of Nuketown Zombies was good. I think that it was a nice little addition to the game. It was another survival map, but having this here as one of the final Aether maps, just no. They could have done so much better than this, and I feel like it was just an utter disappointment. I feel like they could have done way better than this. I don't really know how to explain it. I just don't like this, man. There's a few cool things. I do like the Ray Gun Mark II variants, even though they're really hard to build. I like the colors of the map. I think that they stayed fairly true to where it started. They expanded on the whole thing. The story aspect of it was really cool. All the different quotes from the different crews. That was all really nice. But the end product just seems really confused as to what it wanted to be. I feel like there was a couple of different camps within the studio trying to pull it in different directions, and it just kind of came together at the last second, and it feels like they didn't really know exactly what they wanted to do. And that's kind of the same way that Revelations felt like to me. Even though Revelations is still really fun, it has a lot of really fun aspects, I think that this one just didn't catch people the same way that some of the other maps probably should have, and I think the Aether deserved better. Once again though, it's just another camping strategy. That's a lot of Black Ops 4, and if you've ever high rounded BO4, you know how much of a pain training on high rounds is in this game, because the zombies just are Olympic level sprinters and they will not leave you alone. So you're kind of forced to camp, and that sucks a little bit, but I don't really have that much of an issue with it. I see a lot of people complain about it, but I never really took much umbrage with it. I think that people overreacted to having to camp. But I guess that's where your memory lies, and that's fair actually. If you don't like camping and you've always loved the idea of training for high rounds, I get that, but sometimes different games require different styles. And finally, we get to talk about my least favorite Black Ops 4 Zombies map, Voyage of Despair. I'm gonna be honest, when Black Ops 4 launched, I played this map once, got to round maybe 8, had no idea what I was doing, and just didn't play it again for maybe 6 months. Voyage of Despair was cool. I loved the trailer for this thing. You just got Bruno literally side punching a guy out of existence. You've got a really cool aesthetic to the whole thing. You're on the Titanic. I mean, like, come on, that's a great aesthetic, but just it all came together in a, what the hell is this? Why? This could have been so good. And I say Alpha Omega feels really kind of jumbled together and confused to what it wanted to be and its identity. But, I mean, that is just Voyage of Despair written all over it. It has no idea what it wanted to do. The map is way too big. There's still so many areas that are completely useless other than just having one little part that you need or having one little pack-punch area. There's just so many areas that seem really useless and are just there to fill up space. If the ship had half as many levels to it and was a little bit shorter, I feel like we could have done so much more, but all of the dining areas, most of the floors that you can go on within the actual ship itself, are pretty much useless for anything other than, yeah, here's a perk, here's a part that you can get. You will never train in them, you will never do anything other than just get caught up in these little corridors and these stupid little rooms that are just pointless and lead to nowhere. And there's effectively one high round strategy for this map. I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone do anything other than this strategy for high rounds, where you just camp at the bottom of the endless staircase and just shoot your Kraken, shoot your Helion Salvo. That's basically all you can do. Actually, I stand corrected. There is a strategy where you just use your shield over near the poop deck and you just train a little bit, but again, that's still so hectic and you have to constantly be focused to not get trapped every 3 seconds. Regardless though, I did actually take all my downs on like round 15 or something, but I was able to clutch it out and I was actually able to do this first try because thank God I did not want to play Voyage of Despair again. That would have been absolutely disparaging. English, Luke. English. Point is, this map is poo-poo. I don't want to play it again. I did it for the round 50. I'm not doing it again. And okay, so finally we get to this map, and I'm going to address this because some of you might have noticed right away my health and the revives and basically everything else on the screen. I didn't want to play Dead of the Night. So, as I said earlier in the video, I'm back in Scotland, and we're at a new setup. We changed everything around, we moved everything, and we forgot that we didn't have blinds up in the area that we put this. So the sun is constantly shining right into my eyes. Dead of the Night is just a horrid map, and it's also just dark as hell. And I gave it one good shot, and I just decided, nope, I'm just going to use this old footage that I have. I don't care if it's from custom games. I don't like this map. I said that Voyage of Despair is my least favorite Black Ops 4 map, but no, really thinking about it for all of about 3 seconds, yeah, it's Dead of the Night. I would say that this is the worst Treyarch map they have ever made. There is no reason for it story-wise. All the characters are just uninteresting and just uninspired. The whole map has a just completely backwards ass design. There's so many areas that don't need to exist. Why do I need to make a wonder weapon and then upgrade it and then upgrade it again just to have it be okay? Why is there 80 million different ways to make things? It's just basically a building simulator. Like, come on, why do we need this? And then once you get past round 40, you get the Nosferatu, which are basically impossible to kill. And the high round strategy is just incredibly overpowered. All you need is the Helion Salvo, and to just sit near where one of the buildable tables is with silver bullets and just spam it at the ground over and over again and just keep buying silver bullets. And I know I said I don't mind camping strategies, but that one is just not even fun to me. When you can just buy infinite ammo over and over again, that is not conducive to fun, especially when I didn't even have fun setting up. And I also think that this is kind of where the Chaos story went to die. I think that they had a good direction coming out of the launch maps and they knew what they were doing, and then all of a sudden they went to Dead of the Night and the story just went to shit, and then we went to Ancient Evil, and that actually did pretty good. It kind of redeemed itself, but Dead of the Night just, if we could cut that from existence, I would just be fine. If Black Ops 4 only had 3 DLCs, that's fine. I'm not really going to complain too much. I mean, you know, just throw in like a custom map somewhere, I really don't care. That would actually be better than Dead of the Night. Now, don't get me wrong though, it has cool concepts. The Wonder Weapon is kind of cool, but why do I need to make it and then double pack punch it by not actually pack punching it, by just doing more upgrade quests, which is not fun? Treyarch. Anyway, rant over. I don't like Dead of the Night. This map is poo-poo. That is also going to be where the video ends off, because that is all 8 Black Ops 4 maps. I know this is probably going to be a really long video, so either you guys are really going to like that, or you're really going to not like it, and I guess we'll kind of see how that one goes. If you did enjoy it, I would appreciate a like on the video. Also, check out all the links in the description, like the Discord. I made a TikTok because I hate myself. I also have Twitter, which I'm very active on, and you should follow, so yeah. Go do all those things. They're all in the description. Thank you. Also subscribe. I would appreciate it. Turn on notifications because YouTube just doesn't like my channel and doesn't like sending out notifications. All that other good stuff that every YouTuber tells you. I will try to be more active. I am sorry for being inactive for so long. Anyway, stay safe out there, guys. I love you. Bye-bye.